A staple of online content in the early days of the internet was animation, and arguably a key point in the history of animation has been the internet. These two history lessons have run congruent, or at least, they did for a time. There was a very recent period in the history of YouTube, and arguably all online content, where animation just seemed to disappear overnight. And during this time, most creators either entered the professional market or moved on to other unrelated jobs. In the next 2 episodes of Fallen Titans, I want to try and help you understand how an entire genre of online entertainment can simply turn to dust. The story of animation online, like most things in the 21st century, begins with the creation of a website. That website was, of course, Newgrounds.com. Newgrounds was created in 1998 by Tom Fulp to host his own animations and video games, and in time he opened the website to the public. Newgrounds was the preferred website for many amateur animators for a very simple reason. The quality was really good. Entirely because of Newgrounds, many iconic early animations that existed online can still be enjoyed in 1080p as if they were created yesterday. YouTube, meanwhile, had a much lower quality and frame rate, a huge burden on the community.
Metal Gear Awesome isn't on YouTube. Click that link on the right to go watch them how they were meant to be seen. Crystal clear without all this fuzzy compression bullshit.
Newgrounds also had the added bonus of being very interactive, meaning that animators and video game developers could really push the boundaries of the difference between those two genres. This also meant that Newgrounds animations were often very self-aware, metacontextual, and inside jokey. The unfortunate fact for those who uploaded to Newgrounds was that the site only held a fraction of the popularity that YouTube had in the mid to late 2000s. A lot of animations that went viral in this time period were uploaded to Newgrounds, ripped by someone else, and uploaded to an unrelated YouTube account. It's the classic creator conundrum. Is it bad that someone has used their forum to post my content because they've basically stolen my hard work? Or should I think that it's a good thing because it's made me gain followers, and if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't be as big as I am right now? No matter what way you end up looking at it, the inevitable conclusion is that you probably need to start posting your work to that forum yourself. Now, not all of the pieces of animation that we're going to be discussing today were ever hosted on Newgrounds, but it's a very important piece of the puzzle. Because what we have to remember is that viral animation traces back years before the start of YouTube. I mean, one of the first viral videos was this hilarious classic. Okay, so it should be said, finding any examples of viral clips from any point in the history of the internet is sort of like finding a bookmark in a book where the words have faded. It's like finding a treasure map that dates back to the 1800s, and it leads you to a 1940s missile test site. Imagine that the internet is the highway that you and your friends use to get to work. And imagine that every single day you get on this highway, there's this billboard. Every single day you pass by this thing, and every single day it has something stupid on it. So you and your friends start making fun of it. You reference the billboard randomly. Every day there's something new on the billboard. You make fun of something new every day. There's an entire circuit of inside jokes at your job entirely about this ugly billboard. And that's all good and fun for people that use that highway or people that go to that one office. But eventually, so much time is gonna pass that no one's gonna know what the hell you're talking about. Within 6 months, even you are not going to be able to remember what was on the billboard, or why it was funny, or why it was even there in the first place. Internet humor goes in a set of repetitive steps. Firstly, someone makes a really unfunny joke, and a lot of people see it. Then that joke is brought up in other jokes, which makes people laugh because it reminds them of something else, and references are funny, I guess. And then eventually referencing the unfunny joke becomes an unfunny joke, and then the cycle starts over. Case in point, one of the very first things I ever remember watching online. The Laser Collection.
Go, Pikachu! Use your Thunderbolt! Pikachu!
The Laser Collection was easily my first internet meme. I loved seeing fan edits putting the face into any places where it didn't belong. I brought it up in public discussions like it was funny when it wasn't, and any time the joke showed up in one of these skits, I laughed my ass off. It's pretty hard to talk about the Laser Collection without drawing comparisons to its bigger blood brother, Asdif movie. As-If Movie and The Laser Collection are very interesting to me, because they both started off as nearly identical projects, and their creators took them in completely different places. Both feature black and white animated skits with mostly mundane situations, which somehow end with something lol and random happening. The Laser Collection, it's almost always someone shooting a laser, but in As-If Movie there was a whole list of crazy, wacky, lol, random things that could happen, which might as well have been someone shooting a laser.
Who parked their car on my sandwich?
I did.
The Laser Collection could easily have just been like one of the running jokes in As-If Movie. That's how close the comedy is. So what's interesting to me is how these respective shows responded to their audiences. You get the idea that a lot of animators around at this time wanted to capture the sort of absurdist, anti-humor, metacontextual kind of stuff that would have been put on Adult Swim or something. A lot of the best jokes in this are based entirely around setting up an expectation and then prodding the audience, teasing them with a tension of what's going to happen next, and then sometimes pulling a bait and switch. As-If Movie is a great representation of internet humor in general because a lot of the jokes are built off of continuity and repetition. A joke in As-If Movie 1, which isn't funny, will then be referenced and made fun of in As-If Movies 2 to 10. But those jokes are mainly only funny built off of the context of the first As-If Movie, the billboard. Anyways, most of the audience's love for these two shows came from a juvenile appreciation of lasers shooting out of things and stegosauruses existing, so even if the creators wanted to do sort of more adult-oriented or intelligent humor, they often had to work through this blockade of fans that just wanted the dumb, stupid memes. So how did they deal with this? Well, Tomska honestly kinda ramped up the stupid stuff. He would do things like introducing a skit where a sheep is saying, "Beep beep, I'm a sheep." And then the video ends with an ad for the t-shirt. Domfara, meanwhile, became increasingly passive-aggressive at the suggestion that he should continue his series. After episode 3, which told a semi-serious storyline about the son of Dr. Octagonopus, we got this.
Hello, Jim. Hello, Jim. Blah. Hello, Peter Petrelli. My name is Siler Blah. Spider-Man, you will be... Spider-Man, you will be defeated, blah. Want to hear a song? Why, yes, I would like to hear a song, blah. Sure is quiet around here, Dr. Octagonopus, blah.
At the time, I was kind of upset that Domfara worked so hard to undercut our expectations and insult us with these jokes, which could have been good if he had put actual work and time into the production. But as an adult, I realized this is like the best one. Not only is this the best Laser Collection, I think this is the best As-If Movie. It should be said that, unlike a lot of people, I can't really bring myself to hate these two shows, because these are honestly weird little animations that I find no inherent value in comedically. But at the time, I thought they were the shit. These cartoons provided me with positive experiences in really rough patches of my life. And honestly, I can't wish ill will towards anyone that contributed to that. In fact, I think it's pretty important to stop and discuss what is, in my eyes, the greatest animation to ever come to YouTube. Eddsworld. Eddsworld was a comedy animation series inspired by the life and friends of Ed Gold. For full transparency, I discovered Eddsworld quite late into the game, but I always admired how well it was put together. You've got this iconic world and this whole pantheon of characters brought to life primarily by one key animator. I mean, given that the series was started in 2003 when Ed was 15, there are a lot of quirky misses, but seeing him come onto his own comedically and artistically is a fascinating and enlightening experience. Ed has always said that WT Future was his best work, but in my humble opinion, I think that Hammer and Fail was even better. Although that might be cheating because that's a two-parter. Either way, by that time in his career, Ed was creating fantastic animations that absolutely have stood the test of time. After Ed's death in 2012, stories set in the Eddsworld universe continued to be told all the way through 2016. I think the series never recaptured that rough appearance or appeal ever again, but it continued to be a fantastic series to the end. And stepping back, I want to talk about one last creator, that being Secret Agent Bob, or as he's better known now, Film Cow. In 2005, Jason Steele created a 3-minute comedy video about unicorns as a birthday present to his mother. His mother then uploaded this to Newgrounds on her own account, and it was then ripped and uploaded to YouTube by someone completely unconnected to the story. Soon enough, Charlie the Unicorn was one of the most mainstream online videos of all time. A video so popular that it changed the pronunciation of a word.
Oh god, what is that?
It's a Leopleurodon, Charlie. A magical Leopleurodon.
Leopleurodon.
Leopleurodon. Leopleurodon. Leopleurodon.
Where's my money, Leo?
This is the Film Cow Master Collection. It has a lot of rare gems. It looks better than YouTube, but worse than Newgrounds. Inside there is just a picture of some geese. I'm sure that was funny at the time. There's a lot of gems on here that most people don't know about. Commentary from the creators, commentary on the commentary from the creators, where they point out how that joke isn't funny. I broke it. What I appreciate so much about Film Cow is that despite the fact that it has features that appeal to children, it's still very much ageless comedy. To oversimplify it, I think that the straight man nature of Charlie makes so many of the jokes that wouldn't work in an Asdef movie stand amazingly tall here.
I'm not even gonna ask how I'm still alive, because you know what I think? I think I died long ago, and you two are my eternal punishment.
You're like a constant downer, huh?
Most of the comedy in Charlie the Unicorn is built not off of the randomness of pink and blue, but off of how Charlie reacts to them.
Charlie, where are you?
I'm in some sort of chamber.
The Chamber of Madness or the Chamber of Death?
Does it matter?
Charlie, I'm on fire! Tell me!
I don't know! Why did you bring me here?
Like most things created out of an expectation for them to exist, there are misses. I think Charlie the Unicorn 2 is just not my thing. Charlie the Unicorn 3, however, is very possibly better than the original. And Jason's extended repertoire, with such work as Llamas with Hats and Detective Mittens, absolutely reaches the same standard. But again, it's hard not to notice a change in the tone and representation of the Film Cow animations. While Asdef movies slowly sold out more and more, and a laser collection became increasingly passive-aggressive, Film Cow became depressed.
I guess I'm done.
You must complete your work, Carl.
There's nothing left to complete. It's all gone.
Carl!
I'm done, Paul.
Carl!
Why are you still yelling at me?
You must complete your work, Carl.
I don't know if the guy was depressed, but his animations were definitely depressed.
Gary, you ever feel like you spend so much time just trying to keep going that you don't know how to follow your dreams anymore?
I'm not sure what you mean.
I just had a few moments of freedom today. The freedom to finally do all the non-horse stuff I wanted to do, and I just stood here.
Don't know where to start?
I don't know if I can start, Gary.
As time continued to pass, creating animations for YouTube meant working 10 times as hard while reaping barely a fraction of the rewards. And eventually it got to the stage where animation online seemed to just disappear. Next time on Fallen Titans, we're going to talk about what happened to animation on YouTube, where it went, and why it came back with a vengeance. Until then, I wanted to share with you guys a huge development for the channel. I have created my own website. And this is all thanks to today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is the most streamlined, modern, sleek website development tool on the market today. I mean, look, I'm no programmer. I don't know a lot about hotkeys or spreadsheets. Seems like whenever I put one on, one of the corners always flops back to the middle. But to use Squarespace, it turns out I didn't need to know any of that junk. The interface on this website is truly incredible. I was able to set up a beautiful website in almost no time with such limited know-how. What is incredible about Squarespace is that it can be used by anyone for absolutely any purpose. You can make it about photography, you can make it about your YouTube channel, you can make it about your music blog, absolutely anything. When it comes to getting yourself out there and branding yourself, having a website is one of the most important things you can do, and there is no better place on the entire internet to get that done than Squarespace. And Squarespace is offering you, my audience, 10% off on your first purchase. Just go to squarespace.com/Quinton or check out the link in the description to start building your online presence. Once again, that's squarespace.com/QUINTON. Now, we might be hearing from these guys again pretty soon, so I wanted your input on my website. That's QuintonReviews.com. Right now, it's pretty bare bones, but that's mainly because I want you guys to tell me what I should do with it. Do you guys want bloopers, a forum, anything like that? I just want your input. So until you hear from me again, I've been Quinton Reviews, and that's all you need.